Welcome to another Castle podcast where we don't have your princess, but we do have your podcast. It's Zach. Hi. Hello, guys. It's been a little while, as it usually always is with this podcast. Don't you know? I'm going to make a change with that. We are now going to Mondays. Monday seems the best time to go. I put off some stuff for this show just because this month's been really big with news, really big with releases. There's a lot of stuff. There's PlayStation stuff, there's Xbox stuff, there's nerd stuff, there's postponements, there's stuff that happens every other day. And I wanted to put off some more stuff because some more stuff was announced and blah, 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 and this and that and whatever and all this stuff. I do have an interview, not me giving an interview, but an interview with Phil Spencer I want to put in the show. And also, guys, election's coming up. Election music stuff happening. This is crazy. Just I work in news and it's just dominated by election stuff. Blah. Let's talk nerd stuff. Let's talk video games. Let's talk game systems. This is an election year. This is a new gen year. This is a weird year. So let's get into it. All right. I still need to mess with that intro song. I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the month and a half, however long it takes, podcast. Another Castle podcast. I'm going to start doing these at least every Monday. I might pop in. It's just I want to keep the conformity of the episodes the same. Have a little intro, have a little beat bop music. I kind of want the format to stay the same, so that way it doesn't lose any kind of I don't know, any kind of class, I don't know. I like the little intro ding and then the music behind my intro, a little intro song, and then stuff like this. But obviously I don't want to do it for every single piece of news that comes out the second it comes out, unless it's big. But who knows? Maybe the more I get back into the template of everything, maybe I'll do more than one a week. But at least every Monday now will be the place to look for a new one. Of course, today's Tuesday, so I'm already fucking up. But no, I was ripping this Phil Spencer interview that I thought was poignant just because it's about 10 minutes long, so I'll warn you guys before I play it. That way, if you don't want to hear it, you can fast forward 10 minutes and then hear the rest of whatever I have to say. Also have to apologize. The road next to my house is the loudest I've ever fucking heard this road. Like, apparently everything in the tri-state area where I live is somehow accessible, either going down my road one way or the other, so I apologize for that. I'm currently sitting on the floor in the corner of my couch trying to make it my little sound booth area, so I apologize for that. But since I last left you, I hope you're alive. You must be alive if you're listening to this. I'm glad you made it. A lot of bad shit's happening in the world, so I'm going to focus on the good. I know I had the election music playing kind of as a fun thing behind my little intro, but, whatever. Fun. Plus, it kind of reminds me of like a Veep style music, and it made me laugh. So, but even that took a little bit to rip because I had to record and screen and rip and blah, blah, blah. But I got on there. But anyways, that's kind of the housekeeping notes I wanted to do. Like I said, every Monday I'm going to post one before I go to my slumber chamber. I will post an episode with something going on. I'm just going to keep probably notes throughout the week because I don't see any one topic long enough, except for what we're going to talk about today. That's going to be worth an hour of your time. So what I want to talk about today is obviously kind of three big things that happen in gaming. Since we last left, I know these might be rehashed by you guys. So I'm glad that I'm coming at you now so we can recap everything that's happened. And have all the official. We're done with the news. We know the news. Pre-orders are out for Sony systems and for Microsoft systems. So I was worried about posting something and there's like blah. Like last podcast, I put it out, and then Nintendo was teasing a next-gen console, which they've not teased since. Or a newer console, a next console, a maybe beefier console, something console, and then that was pretty much about it. And all that was placeholders on websites and different people talking, and nothing came to it. So whatever. But I would love a beefed up Switch. I want my Switch Pro. I would love a Switch Pro. I want my voice chat built in. That'd be great. I want messaging built in. That'd be great. I want to be able to send friend requests. I want to be able, like you can now with the convoluted friend system, but I want to be able to send game invites, even though there is a game invite thing up there, and I know like 1 or 2 games does support it, but I want it for all games, like I do with my PlayStation, like I do with my Xbox. I want that. So give me a Switch Pro. I don't care about the resolution. I mean, I just got the 3D Mario All-Stars, which I hope you Mario lovers picked up because it's great. You can bitch about anything in the world, and I'm sure people are going to bitch about the fact that Mario 64 is still in a smaller ratio and whatever, and then it's a remaster, not a remake, so the camera's still wonky in that and Sunshine. But I've never beat Sunshine. I don't think I might have never even played Sunshine, and I'm beating Sunshine right now, and I'm having a blast. I hate the camera, but I'm having a blast. I love it. So, but I would love just a beefier Switch with all that kind of fun stuff happening with it. That'd be great. Be able to have all my stuff on the go. I mean, just the other day, Jared and I were playing Fortnite, and my legs were hurting from my jog. And I was just like, man, I would love to soak in a bath, but you have limited gaming time. I need to go to bed here soon, but I want to soak before I go. But I'm having so much fun. Hey, let's stay in an Xbox party. We'll stay in an Xbox party. I'll take the fucking Switch to my bathroom and set up on my toilet and pull up my Pro Controller. And what do you know? Had a blast. Had a blasty blast, and it worked perfectly. Came back in, boom, got on my Xbox, and we're back to gaming. It was great. I love it. So I would love that. But going back to originally why I went on this tangent was that, the Switch announced that right after I did the podcast. If there's something that is big or something that happens or whatever, yes, I'll do a bonus episode. Always do a bonus episode. This costs me nothing to make. It costs you nothing to listen. I love this format. I just want to keep my template the same, so because I like it. I like my template right now. It feels comfy. It feels like I actually have something. It feels like I'm not just, boom, here's my voice, boom, here's the end of hearing my voice. I feel like there's something else to it. So, but today, the main 3 things I want to talk about are the Sony systems and all the specs and how you get it and what's going on and what happened with the pre-orders. I want to talk about Microsoft systems, how much it costs, when you can get it, how you get it, what happened with their pre-orders. And then I want to talk about Microsoft buying ZeniMax, because these are like the 3 biggest things that have dominated. And then a minor thing I want to get into is exclusives, because there was some deceiving that was done on the part that made me kind of pissed off. And I will get into that. I might make that its own little segment here, because I record this in order. So that way, I don't know, it feels a little more organic, I guess. But okay, let's jump into, let's start with Sony. Sony. All right. Got to pull up my cheat sheet here so I can make sure I'm factually quoting everything as it is. So here's my breakdown. Let's get out of my way. Get out of my way stuff. Okay. No. We're going to start with Sony. Here we go. All right, the PS5. There are 2 versions of this console. There's going to be a disc version and a disc-less version, or all digital version, named Standard, and then the PS5 Digital Edition. It's going to release November 12th in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, and then November 19th for the rest of the world. Um, that they're both simultaneously, but the digital and the standard. The standard is going to cost $499 or 449 pounds. That's the standard console, and then the digital version will be $399 and 359 pounds. Right now, what they're saying as far as what you can play on it, I might just go ahead and just kill the whole Sony side now, and then I'll kill the whole Microsoft side, and then I'll lead into the ZeniMax. That's how we'll do it. That'll be the show. That's easily an hour, because we got a 10-minute thing with Phil Spencer. I want to get to get the actual verbatim facts out of his mouth, so that way I'm not misquoting him, and you guys can hear what he's saying and questions that were asked and everything. So there's all that kind of fun stuff. Oh, you just backed out on me, son of a bitch. There we go. The pre-order. Okay, here we go. We'll go what you can play on it now. Now, as the backwards compatibility, you can play PS4 and PS5 games. PS5 games. Obviously, you can play PS5 games. Now, with the PS4 games, they were quoted as saying, quote-unquote, almost all PS4 games, kind of on a case-by-case basis. Earlier generations are still yet to be confirmed. It'll launch with support for majority of, I think it said, the top 100 PS4 games, with the want to support all of the PS4 library. So odds are your game's probably not going to be left out. I'm hoping that's day one. It's saying it's going to launch with support, so it should be day one with that kind of stuff. Here's where my quirks come in with that kind of thing. And this is the same qualm I have with buying a Xbox Series anything, is PlayStation came out and said that they believe in generations. So when they said they believe in generations, anything I felt I saw in their presentation, their last presentation where they showed a bunch of games, like they're pretty much their first party presentation, with your Spider-Man, Miles Morales, your Zero Dawn sequel, and the Demon's Souls remake. I was like, yep, that's it. Those are the games I'm buying my PS5 for. I want to play Miles Morales. I want to play the new Horizon Zero Dawn. I never played Demon's Souls, but it's very popular, so there are going to be tons of people that want to play that. Here's the downside. They low-key didn't tell us those games are on fucking PS4. So, I say unto you, the fuck. You know, the qualm I had with upgrading to a Series anything for Xbox. Now, granted, I have a launch day Xbox One and I have a slim PS4, so my PS4 will still give me HDR and like kind of a wannabe upres. It's not 1080p, but it's not even an upscale 4K, but it looks really fucking good. Better than what my Xbox One looks like because I have a launch day Xbox One. So here's my thing though. Xbox is all about, you know, you're still going to play this on this and that on that and use this and this and that on that. So like the hardware is going to cross over and all that stuff. PlayStation came out and said, I'll get more into the Xbox stuff. I want to leave it in its own segment. But PlayStation said, we believe in generations. So I took that as, hey, any games we show you. Now, granted, there's a lot that were timed exclusives. Like, some of these, like, I think pretty much Demon's Souls is coming to Xbox as well. And there's other games that are coming to Xbox that they showed in their presentation. They're timed exclusives. So it's like, okay, so what got narrowed down to actual exclusives were your Miles Morales and your Zero Dawn. So I'm like, okay, well, I still want to play Miles Morales, so I'm eventually going to get my PS5. It's one of the first Spider-Man's one of the main reasons I splurged and got my PS4 again. So I've actually been kind of wanting to play that, to be honest with you. Been kind of Spider-Man mood. Plus, I have a Spider-Man clock right next to my PlayStation on purpose. But anyways, so then it's available on PS4. So why am I buying a PS5? Why? Why am I spending $500 for a 9.5 teraflop system when the Series S is only 4 teraflops, but it's as powerful somehow as far as output and what it delivers upon as a PS5. Now, granted, with the PS5 digital being a 400, that makes it a very like reasonable looking thing because you get the full on non-reduced version of a PS5 for $400. That's really appetizing. They didn't downgrade the hardware at all. It's literally they're just removing the disk drive. That's it. So they're knocking off $100. That's another thing that's kind of a downside about that, though. The PS4 was not a 4K Blu-ray player, which is odd because Sony owns Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray. They also owned DVDs. So why in their entire last generation, with at least 3 systems, did not have a 4K Blu-ray player? They finally put it in the system, and now there's an option to get it without. Well, if you're just a PlayStation person, now I will tell you, people will say, oh, you can stream 4K. Which you can. You can stream 4K on PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. But here's the thing. Once you start looking at specs, as far as like bit rate and your internet speed and different things or whatever, and especially when you go to different platforms, your Netflix versus your Amazon versus, stuff that offers 4K, even YouTube, they offer different types of 4K and can only go up to certain types of 4K given their bit rate. Netflix changed their bit rate system. I'm telling you, man, some of the Netflix stuff is dark even with my HDR turned up. Amazon's HDR looks great. Or their 4K HDR looks great. Netflix, it's case-by-case basis and depending on my speed too, even though I have gigabit internet. So I can imagine someone with lower speed thinking they're getting full 4K. The best way to watch 4K, period, is with a 4K Blu-ray dedicated disc inside your system connected directly to your television. That is going to hands down give me the best picture. And if you're just a PlayStation gamer, like you don't go, like we're leaving Nintendo out of this because they don't even offer that. If you're not going Xbox at all, then I would highly recommend splurging for that extra $100. Plus, use games, borrow games for $100 down the road. I mean, I think that's kind of worth it. But if you just want to get into this generation, you don't care about the movie side, none of that stuff, you're fine with 4K streaming, you don't care at all, $400, you're in. Now, I need to check because I'm looking at, they said, will PS5 support PS4 accessories? Says mostly. The DualShock 4 controller will work with supported PS4 games, but it will not work with PS5 games. And some officially licensed PS4 arcade sticks. Backed out again. This is a horrible website. Yeah. Arcade sticks, flight sticks, racing wheels, and some PS4 headsets are supported. Some. It's a base-by-base or case-by-case basis. But those are for PS4 games. So don't look at using those for PS5 games. Headsets, probably going to have to look for PS5. I would imagine headsets are probably the most variable. Because I guarantee you probably your Turtle Beach, especially with PlayStation pushing more Bluetooth, we'll definitely know. As far as PSVR, not seeing anything about it. They're saying yes, it'll have VR. They're saying it'll support current PSVR hardware. I really hope that's true. And there are rumors of PSVR 2. I hope that's true as well. I really want to play VR. So that part's a little difficult. If you're PlayStation only, it's a no-brainer. I think I'd just go the 500. I think I'd trade your system in. Now, how to get that system? Pre-orders went live on September 17th. Like I said, the release date's November 12th, November 19th, the rest of the world. Now that I've heard that's been a horrible mess. But somehow, my brother got one on Amazon. Then Amazon announced for Xbox and PlayStation that they're not going to guarantee you're going to get it day one. You have a system, and as soon as it ships, they'll charge you. Now, I know with Amazon, they don't charge you till it ships. So I'm expecting that if they delay it, if people don't take it out of their carts or take it off their orders or whatever, there's going to be a lot of people that like get their cards declined, and then that system gets released back into the wild. That seems like a big mess for me, to be honest with you. Um, as far as Black Friday stuff, there's been nothing said yet. Um, but yeah, they opened almost immediately after the showcase on the 17th. So, yeah, I know the price and all that kind of stuff. Um, if that's your jam, I mean, I wouldn't see an option with, or I wouldn't see a problem with maybe even being able to get one day one walking into a store. Now, there's been rumors of Sony having possible delays and possible um, problems with manufacturing to the point to where they might not be able to deliver and they might be sold out. So, I mean, if you got a pre-order, I hope you did. I didn't go into that pre-order at all because, like I said, the one main reason I wanted to buy a PS5 is because of Miles Morales, and I found out I can play it on my PS4. So I didn't see. I mean, there is going to be a remastered version of Spider-Man, and I mean like remastered, like they even swapped out Peter Parker, like the actor's different in it, which is kind of crazy. I do like the look of the new Peter Parker. I didn't dislike the look of the old one though. I just like the new one as well. It does look better. It plays probably going to play better. And I'm pretty sure that comes with a bundle with Miles Morales. So, but like I said, same problem I had with the Xbox. Thinking about it, if these are all on PS4, they did a real shite job of informing us that because I found out after the showcase on multiple news outlets, like, oh, by the way, this is on PS4. Never from Sony, never from Sony's Twitter, never from their official release, never from their website, but from other sources. Their architecture. Now, the one thing I wanted to boast on, as far as the internal solid state drive, you're going to get a little bit less than 825 gigs of solid state drive space. So, you are going to be able to plug in a USB hard disk drive, which is nice. But you can only put PS4 games on that external hard drive. So any PS5 exclusive titles, and I don't mean like exclusive like Miles Morales, like, cause that's obviously on both systems. I just mean if you buy the PS5 version of that, the new Call of Duty, Cold War, that's a thing, by the way. that's a thing. But anyways, if you do have a external hard drive, you can plug it in, but it's PS4 games only. And I haven't heard anything about any kind of games getting upgraded through putting them on your solid state drive. I would imagine just by pure hardware boosting that if you put your old games onto your solid state drive that you would have to get faster loading speeds. I haven't heard anything confirmed, but I mean I'm just saying like that's a hard disk drive, if you don't know, spins. A solid state drive is solid, so it does not. To put it lightly, it kind of works like a big flash drive, kind of like how fast it can load your stuff. And so far, it's been really, really, really fast. As I know, over on the Xbox side, they've been posting videos and stuff about how fast it can upload and everything. So I'd imagine you get the same kind of boost from that. But the look, well, they look cool. It's space age, pretty tall though. There we go. Sorry, I backed out of my thing again. That's release, blah, 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 price. And the site is horrible, but it has really good breakdown. I mean, GPU's coming in, it says at 10.28 teraflops, but that's the highest it goes, is what it says. It's a variable frequency. Um, Now the 825 gigabyte solid state, that's how big that is. That's not with your stuff, with your OS on it. So your operating system is going to take up more space. So just looking at a guesstimation, the Xbox Series X comes in at a terabyte of solid state drive, it has a terabyte solid state drive, and it's rocking about 820 gigs after everything's said and done of actual free space. So you could look at probably 600 to hopefully 700 gigabytes of actual free space for the solid state drive. Um, so I'm hoping that's enough for everyone, given how Call of Duty is like 120 gigs, unless you finagle it just right. Um, but you'll have options like you'll have more control over how you install and remove games, meaning you could just install a game's multiplayer mode rather than the full block of data. That'll definitely allow for a launch of like direct gameplay, so you can just jump right into different game aspects such as like matchmaking or continuous save without having to boot up the full game. Um, it says right here, blah blah blah. Capable. Okay, so your hard disk drive does need a transfer speed of at least 5.5 gigabytes. You could easily Google that and see if you have one fast enough. I'm sure you do if you've already used it on your PS4. Um, but I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure if you can actually put PS4 games on the internal. Imagine you could, since it's backwards compatible. Oh yeah, you can. I don't know why it's wording stuff kind of odd. Yep. Now, one thing that they're boasting is this 3D audio tech. It's just saying that the PS5 will boast 3D audio support thanks to the new Tempest engine. Um, it that seems like something that's really more of a PSVR type of thing. If you want 3D audio, so that was a given for me when I saw that. I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna announce PSVR 2," which I only got PSVR 1. I've played it and I want it. I'm just poor. Um, but that'd be really cool if they just more optimized stuff for the VR stuff. That'd be really cool. It's like as expensive as the fucking system sometimes. So I'm like blah. Um, and like I said, the digital edition is going to be the exact same thing. Same thing, just that it won't have that 4K Blu-ray player. So, but I think for $100, man, going up is kind of worth it to be able to play 4K Blu-rays, so you can actually have a movie collection. Because I know people are going more digital, and I support fully digital games. I think digital games is an absolute no-brainer, because like if you're buying a PlayStation game to play on the PlayStation platform, then the only way that game goes away is if the entire platform goes away, and that platform is not going to go away if you have the system in your house. Um, they might have some kind of system where, like, it checks online to make sure you have the license to play it. But then again, if you have the damn physical version and the physical game, then that's not a problem whatsoever, is it? The problem with digital movies is that, and this has happened before actually, where people have bought them on different platforms. I'll say Vudu for an example, even though Vudu has not went down, don't worry. But like, say one day, even though it's a bad example because Vudu's owned by Walmart and Walmart's going nowhere, but uh, say you bought them off, JoeBlowMovies.com, whatever, and you had a big library, and then they go the fuck under one day. Or what if they have some crazy shit on their servers, or some crazy shit on and they get shut down? Your movies are just gone. Or if you don't have internet access, what if your internet goes out? What if someone slams into a pole, God forbid, and fucking tears down your internet? Or what if you just don't have the money to pay a bill that month? You lose all those fucking movies. So I just think having physical movies is the way to go, 110%, no exception. And most of the time, if not 100% of the time, when you buy movies, I don't know why I'm on a movie rant during the Sony stuff, I'm sorry, but if you buy the physical copy of the movie, you get the digital copy. And they're usually the same price as buying the movie on fucking a digital service. So I've seen movies that are still $20 digitally. I'm like, why? I can go pay that $20 at Walmart and get the Blu-ray, the 4K Blu-ray, the Blu-ray, and the digital version for the same amount of money. That way I can just stream it if I'm lazy, or if my internet goes out, I still got the movie there. I don't know. That's my rant on that kind of stuff. I don't get it. There are some places I know on Vudu, especially where you can buy a movie and they'll actually send you the physical copy, which is really cool. It's like a reverse way to do it, but I think that's really cool. But as far as digital games go, if you already have the games and you're already going digital, which I'm actually almost 100% digital. I own no physical Xbox games, except for I think Shadow of War. I think I own Shadow of War because I got it for like $5. And then I have the main games on PlayStation physically. My God of War, Spider-Man, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And then I got like 1 or 2 physical Switch games. The rest are just digital. But Nintendo would have to go under, and I have to lose that. And then I think that would be just a massive, massive, massive lawsuit against Nintendo if they just were like, hey, you can't play digital games anymore. I think that'd be really bad on their part. So, but I don't know. It's up to you guys. Whatever you guys think's good. There's your specs on your Sonys. I'm eventually going to get one. I like having all the systems, and I eventually get them all anyway. Like I said, right now I have the Holy Trinity in front of my TV as well right now, Xbox One, PS4, and Switch, and I love having all of them. I like not being held back by exclusives, and I'm just lucky enough to be able to have enough money to be able to actually buy those. And my cat's going nuts on my blinds right now. I don't know what he sees out there. What do you see? Hey. Hey. Come on, stop. Move. There you go. Get out of there. He's looking at me like, you just touched me. But anyways, guys, there's your Sony information. Hope I didn't miss anything. There's the information. There's my thoughts. Let's move to Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft. All right. So anyways, I had to re-record that because I went to the damn website to look at it, and just to make sure I had all my stuff so I was not misquoting a single thing. And when your screen locks, it stops recording you. So that's funny. Anyways, it'll make the episode go faster because my cat was messing with my blinds and a bunch of other crap, whatever. The name, Xbox. Now, people are starting to already get confused, and rightfully so. Do I hate it? Yes, it's horribly. Is it confusing? It's extremely confusing. Is it fucking stupid? It's very stupid. It's very fucking stupid. PlayStation is very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all you have to know. Now, there's different iterations. I get that. But coming out the gate of any console launch, which is where you're going to get your install base, you just have to know the fucking number. Later on down the road, you can argue with Slims and, Pros and whatever have yous. Even those are very simple names to know. Oh, this one's Slim. Oh, the Pro, it's probably the highest. Boom, you're done. Your aunt, uncle, grandma, dad, cat, dog can just walk into a store and say, hey, is there a PS4? Yep. Is there a PS5? Yep. Is there a PS6? No. Okay, then I want the PS5. That's all you have to do. You just count up to 10 and you know what to do. Xbox has went this way. And the funny thing is, that's the Japanese system. I'm not trying to stereotype, but like usually Japanese shows and animes and whatever has crazy fucking titles. It should be PlayStation, Ex Machina, Super Edition, Hyper Fighting, Off the Streets, Off the Cuff, Ready to Go, Electric Boogaloo version number 2. That's usually how they name their shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just usually how that shit goes. It's funny, and sometimes I love it. I don't care. I still will play a Street Fighter, Hyper, Super, whatever edition just for fun. Xbox. When they came out 360, it was like, fine, whatever, you're doing 360. Go ahead. I get it. It's the 360 of gaming, even though it wasn't. Then they came out with the One. It's the one place for gaming. It's not. So I hate this. Now, granted, if you know what they're trying to do, which Microsoft has great things in their ecosystem. xCloud's great. Game Pass is great. All the free weekends of games is great. All their shit's great. I love their ecosystem. Love, 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 love. I barely spend any money. I get a lot of shit. There's always something new for me to play. Right now, I can just hop on and play something new. Um, so the name, they're technically going, they're just called Xbox now. This is the new Xbox system. It's the Series S as far as like the way computers are named. You know, it's a Series whatever, Series 10, Series whatever. Like, I guess with a car, you know, or a phone, the Series 1, Series 2, Series whatever. Why they're going with X, I don't know. It's hard to have an Xbox One X when one is the center, is in the middle, and you have Xbox Series, and they're like, well, those aren't even. It's like comparing, you know, like I want to say, I guess apples and oranges. It's like I don't understand series and then one. So Xbox One X, Xbox Series X. That's going to get confusing because there's nothing at all in those phrases that tell you that they're different. Besides obviously just the names themselves. But usually, like with PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Slim. Okay, probably the Slim's better because it's slim. It's a slimmer version. Or PS5 and PS5 Pro. The word Pro, obviously, anyone's brain's just going to automatically gravitate towards like, oh, well, Pro is better than non-Pro. Boom. Series is not better than one, and one is not better than series. When you look at names, they don't even correlate at all. So that's confusing as fuck. I'm glad that they are doing the thing with, hey, all the controllers from the Xbox One family works on the Series family, and everything from the Series family works on the Xbox One family. Oh, my cat came over. Oh, he distracted me. Oh, goddamn. Oh, he's so soft. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, bite me. Sorry. Anyways, so, name aside. I wish they would have said Series 1, Xbox Series 1, Xbox Series 2, Xbox Series 3, so you could know what series you have. So it's just you have the Xbox. What series do you have? And not X or S or E or Plee or Ploop or Plop. Just one. Just could have done one. Xbox Series 1. Xbox One X and Xbox Series 1. Like Xbox, even put a colon. Put a fucking colon! Xbox. Colon! Underneath, real tiny, Series 1. That's all you have to do. I just don't fucking get it. Like, you have to know to know. And then you have to get lucky that you tell the person or the person you know is for Christmas to get you the right one. Or you have to feel lucky enough. Okay. Now, granted, in any kind of store, if you're buying this new, at least they stop production on Xbox One X's. So there's no Xbox Ones being made whatsoever. So hopefully when the holidays hit, when November 10th hits, there's no Xbox Ones at all in the store. There should be, there will be, but I'm just saying if there's not, then you're only going to get those series systems. And for, you know, spoiler alert, for $300 and $500, like that's a great price range. Like you don't even need a $300 Xbox One X when you have a $300 Xbox Series S. Like it's just not necessary. So, the Xbox Series S is very confusing because it's not going to get the Xbox One X upgrades, but it has the Xbox Series upgrades, which inheritably are better. Yet the Xbox One X is 6 teraflops and the Xbox Series S is 4 teraflops. But somehow you're going to get all the upgrades and the boost that you get from the Series X on the Series S. So you're still getting. I don't think you're getting the true. This is where I need to get into it. Okay, let me back it up. So there's going to be the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. They're both going to be released on November 10th. Everything is forwards, backwards, whatever. Anything you get that's for the series systems They're probably going to have their own separate upgrade, which obviously is going to help with everything. Here's the great part. Everything that's backwards compatible on Xbox One, which means all the way back to OG Xbox, which all that shit is still growing, everything moves forward. So you get absolutely everything backwards compatible on the Series S and X. Also, you get the added benefits of it upgrading all your old games. Now, as far as resolution and graphics and everything like that goes, it says that you'll still get the upgrades you got with the One S and the One X. So you're going to get all those upgrades, which is great. But you're also going to get the added benefit of any of the new Series S features and the improved loading times. So performance is going to go up exponentially. I think it was like Red Dead was loading in like way less than a minute. Like instant resume was like seconds. And then some of the other load up times were just absolutely ridiculous. I know Ryan McCaffrey over at IGN did side by sides of everything, and some of these games were loading in like I think Red Dead at one time got in like 25 seconds or something ridiculous, which doesn't sound too crazy fast, but that's insanely fast compared to like the almost 2 minutes right now on Xbox One X. There's almost they actually have a difference page. We should look at that here in a second. But yeah, it says all existing Xbox One accessories also will be supported on the Series S and Series X. As far as VR, no. They're saying that there's just the company's waiting. I want VR on it. I'm hoping they announce some kind of collaboration with Oculus. Like, hey, Oculus will just work. Just connect it. It'll work. So if you're playing your Squadrons, it'll work. If you're playing your Resident Evils, it'll work. If you're playing your Half-Life Alyx, which I hope comes to console. I mean, it's a Windows background. Why is it not? But yeah, pre-orders for that. They opened up on the 22nd. They were kind of a mess. And not a mess like people couldn't find them, which because that's normal. You know, like even I was trying to refresh, see what was going on. It just, you know, some of the sites were like, hey, we're gonna go live today, and it just kept going. Like Best Buy kept going and going and going. So if you got one, I'm happy for you. Great. They've said nothing about. Amazon said the same thing about PlayStation and them. They're gonna have the possible delays, whatever, fine. But I heard nothing about anything else coming from any kind of rumor mill about Xbox actually having a manufacturing problem, because they're already sending out review consoles. Not just like review like, hey, this is like a half put together console. They're already shipping it to people. I know Ryan McCaffrey, like I said before, at IGN's has it. There's a bunch of people I follow that review it that have already had it for a week. And the only difference between that is there's just some embargo stuff on it, like they can't show the dashboard for too long. They obviously can't sell it. They can't give it out. And then there's some online features that are going to go live on the 10th. So there's just that pretty much. But it's already out. I mean, it's already out in the wild. It's already happening. People have already got it. So that's really good. And the fact that it comes out 2 days before the PlayStation is just kind of like, okay, all right, whatever. The Xbox One X, of course, is just a full-on 12 teraflop system with a 4K Blu-ray drive. The digital option is the Xbox One S, which is exponentially smaller. It's actually the smallest Xbox they've ever made. It runs supposedly at 4 teraflops, but has all the next-gen features that the Xbox Series X has. I think it's running at 1440 though. It's going to be its max with an upscale 4K. It'll still run supposedly, as of right now, up to the 120 frames is. I just don't want to misspeak because apparently it's saying it can. it can run the full 12, but it's saying 120 hertz. Nope, 8K. I mean, the Series X is saying it's possibly going to go up to 8K, which is fucking crazy. Let me see. Let me see. Here we go. Yada yada yada. And the controller looks the same. We know about that. Let me just here. Like I said, I don't want to put out any kind of false info, and I want to make sure before I say that. Before. Yeah, I know. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So yeah, they've officially said it's set to deliver up to 120 hertz gaming experience at up to 1440p for $300. So I'm thinking that the 120 is going to actually end up being 1080p, and the 60 frames is going to be 1440p. But they're saying it can support up 120 up to 1440p. So we're going to have to see once that one gets launched into the wild. That's what they're saying. So it can still do the 120 frames, which I didn't think I gave a fuck about until I played Doom Eternal, which is on Game Pass right now, by the way, just so you know, it's on Game Pass. But Doom Eternal, when I was playing it at, on my Xbox One original at 30 frames a second, I was like, this would be amazing at 120 hertz. This would be amazing at 60 hertz or 60 frames a second. I digress. Let me get back up to the important junk. Yes, we know about that stuff. I know all about that stuff. I know all about that stuff too. We've already talked about this. Get through my notes here. Yeah, it's running at, here we go. But yeah, pre-orders went decent. Now, like I said, the $499 and $299. So it's going to be Xbox Series X is $499 or $499 US, $449 pounds. Now they have a monthly finance deal that's I have yet to be able to take advantage of to see what you need. I'm guessing you would need some kind of credit or something because you pay nothing up front, and that is $25 a month for Xbox Series S, or $35 a month for Xbox Series X, and that will get you that takes 2 years to complete. But while you have that, you get the system, the controller, all your junk you need to plug it into your TV and power it, and you get the entire time you're paying on it, you get Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you, your gold, your Game Pass for your PC, and it gives you xCloud gaming. So you get, you come right out of the gate with hundreds of games, and then day one, any exclusives are day one for free. So you come out of the gate with just a shit ton of games to play. And awesome games. Like, you don't have to buy anything for it. You just have that. So that's an option you can go. And I know that Best Buy is offering that. GameStop's offering that. And I think Target is offering that because you have to go through a retailer. And I think you can do it straight through Microsoft themselves at Microsoft.com. It's called Xbox All Access, which is a great way. If you're able to get approved for that, that's fucking awesome. That's how I'll end up getting it. That gets you in the door. That gets you a system. That gets you the system you probably want, because most people are going to say, fuck it, for the $10 extra a month, I'll go to the Series X. I'll get that powerful as fuck gaming console. Might as well. Yeah, it's running at the 12 teraflops. Now it will have external support for a hard disk drive. Now, the support for the hard disk... Now, since they have it out in the wild, the support for the external hard disk drive has been tested. So I can confirm several things. Oh, let me smell that. I can confirm several things about it. You can put whatever games on whatever hard drive you want. No, so you can get your game, and I know Cyberpunk I'll get into that in a second. That has to deal with the smart delivery. I don't know. Say you eventually buy Halo when it comes out. If you put it on your internal solid state drive, you're going to get all the upgrades, all the perks, all the, the speed. You're going to get you automatically get all the graphic upgrades because it's running off the system by itself. But the solid state drive helps deliver a lot of those, like the ray tracing and stuff like that, which you're going to have ray tracing on both systems. It's just the ray tracing mainly deals with like your reflections and stuff too. So they're going to run a little bit differently. Supposedly it runs a little better on Xbox, but also it's like 3 teraflops more. So obviously, more powerful means the ray tracing is going to be better. But what some people were doing was, since it comes with a terabyte internal, that runs about 820 gigs of actual usable space. So you might be rocking 10 or whatever games. And if you have Game Pass, you have access to so many games, you just kind of want to play them. So I have a 2 terabyte hard drive external on my Xbox One right now. I can plug it in, and what people were suggesting was buy these, because I got mine for like $60 or something, my 2 terabytes, $60, $70, and that was a year and a half ago. Buy those and go ahead, and especially people who deal with data caps. I don't have to deal with data caps, but I did when I lived in Indiana, and everyone I know in Indiana has to. So what people were doing was downloading them to the external hard drive, and then when they want to play them, just transferring them from one hard drive to the next, because that takes almost no time at all. From all accounts I've heard, it takes almost no time to transfer them. That way you're not constantly downloading things. So whatever 7-8 games you're playing currently right now for that week or whatever, throw on your solid state drive, on the internal solid state drive, and you get all the boost of speed and your instant resumes and all your shit like that. And that's what people were doing. So I'm like, that's a great fucking idea, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Even though I have fast internet and I could possibly download them, most of the country doesn't. So, and plus, like I said, with any kind of data caps or whatever, you can only download so much and do whatever. So I'm glad there's at least an option for that. So I like that option a lot, actually. Now, as far as upgrades go, because we were talking about the Miles Morales stuff, with that, there's going to be a PS4 and PS5 version. And with the Horizon, there's going to be a PS4 and PS5 version with upgrades. So that I haven't heard anything about how they're actually going to upgrade to a like if I got the PS5 and bought Miles Morales digitally, do I get the upgrade with that, or do I have to buy the PS5 version? So I need to figure that out soon, so I can actually have some knowledge on it, and then also give it back to you guys. But with the smart delivery, it's basically anyone who wants to opt in, any developer that wants to opt in can opt in. And I know Cyberpunk was the very first one to do it. They said if you buy Cyberpunk on your Xbox One and then upgrade to any Series S, Series X, you'll get the upgrade, as far as like graphical upgrade and all that stuff. You'll get that for free. It'll just be a download. You'll just download the extra assets, and then you'll be able to play it. Boom. Cost you nothing. I like that a lot. And that's going to actually make me buy that game day one without I'm not even going to have to stress it. Because I'll be able to buy it, enjoy the shit out of it, and then as soon as I eventually get a series, whatever, all I know is there'll be a download waiting for me, and then I'll download it, and boom, I'll have the next gen version. I don't know if you guys remember with GTA 5, but they actually made a PS5 and Xbox One next gen version. So I bought that game 2 or 3 times now. Because if you remember, that was a PS3 360 game, was GTA 5, and now we're going into its 3rd generation. But no, I really like that. So I'm glad that's going to be the case. Here's my qualm, because I know I'm taking too long. Sorry. This exclusivity stuff, okay? We'll get into the ZeniMax stuff here in the next and last segment. But the same thing, like, I had this problem first with Xbox. It was when Halo and all these games I was looking forward to were announced, and they're like, oh, they're going to be playable on Xbox One. It's just going to be like going from an Xbox One original to an Xbox One X, where if you buy the Xbox One X, you download the 4K assets. It's like what Smart Delivery is doing for next gen. You just do a download and you get the better version. Well, here's the thing. Well, then why the fuck am I buying it? If you have an Xbox One X right now, you can play the next Halo. You can play Cyberpunk. You can play, all these games already. There's nothing that's hardcore said, hey, this is the cutoff. This is only going to be on the system. I think Senua's Revenge, I think it's called, Hellblade 2 is the only one that I've seen that said, hey, this is a series game. This is an Xbox Series X or Series S game. That's it. That's all it's gonna play on. It's not gonna go the other way. But everything else is I can play right now. I could play the new Halo right now if it launched, even with the Series X out. And I'm what 1, 2, 3, technically 4, 5 systems back, and I can still play that game. So why am I buying your game? Why am I buying this new system? If a Series X or Xbox One X looks good on my TV, I have 4K. I have at least 60 frames a second. It really comes down to performance. It's just like upgrading a PC. Well, I can play this game right now. Now, do I want to spend the $500 so I can do 4K 120 frames a second? I mean, I venture yes. Do I want to load faster? I venture yes. So I think that's the only reason they're going up to, and that's the same kind of argument with computers. But also, it's the same argument of why to get into computers, because you can put in, you get out as much as you want to put in. I think that's why they're naming it just the series. Like they're trying to go to like a PC type of deal, where you like I said, you get back what you put in. It's like, okay, I have a 1X, 4K 60 frames locked. Boom, I got this. Now I'm rocking 120 frames with 10-second, load times instead of 2 minutes. So I'm flying through shit. Instant resume. I'm playing Cyberpunk for 2 hours, and then I just boom, hit pause, hop over, pop a couple rounds of Call of Duty or Fortnite with my buddy, and boom, I hit this other button and I'm back in. So, you're to your games as fast as possible. Also, side note, they did announce the external drives, but right now all the listings are like $220. What that basically is a memory card that is literally a mini solid state drive. Now, I say mini in size, not in actual capacity. It's still a terabyte, which will give you 950, 920-ish. Well, I think it's more 950 plus actual free space, because it has formatting, it has like shit on it or whatever. So you get more than the internal, but still, if you want to add another terabyte of actual solid state drive space, you can. But it's going to be another like $200. I think it's $220 is all the listings that got leaked, the retail listings. So there is that option. So technically, on your Xbox Series whatever, because this applies to both systems, Series S and Series X, you could have your internal terabyte, your extra terabyte that you pop in, and your hard disk drive of whatever terabytes you have. So you could have all these systems running together if you have the money to probably not run out of room for a while. So there is that. But like I said, my problem was, why am I buying the system? Why am I buying it? But the more and more I see the performance of it, the more and more I'm just like, man, I don't think I'm at a day one Xbox One. That's just me. I'm not even going to fuck with the Xbox One X. I might as well just go to the Series X, especially if I can do the All Access Pass and just pay $35 a month. That's probably the way I'm going to go. And then with PlayStation, I was like hardcore, like, well, they have definitive games that I want to play on my system. Then I found out Demon's Souls is coming to other systems. And that Miles Morales and Horizon are going to be playable on PS4. So now I'm really going, well, what the fuck, PlayStation? You had it on lock. We believe in generations. What the shit? So I really believe that that's what I was going to do. It's like the PlayStation actually has a reason for me to get a new system. Um, so I don't know. I guess to recap, basically, because that's my qualms, that's the pluses, the minuses, whatever have you guys. November 10th for the Xbox, 12th for the PlayStation. There are 2 versions of each right now. There's a rumor there's a third Xbox, but it's a rumor, so we're not going to talk about it. It'd be great if they came in at $400 and had a digital version of the Series X. Like if they had if they did exactly like PlayStation and had the 2 tiers, the 400 and 500, then had that last tier with the 300, a little bit less next gen system, I'd be like, oh my god, they have it on lock. That's ridiculous. Especially now that Sony announced that the exclusives are to the PS5 are not exclusives to the PS5. I know, Siren. Take him away. But no, those systems are coming out. There's the specs on both those. Now, we all know Sony has amazing exclusives. I mean, I just finished God of War. I'm actually uploading the last 3 parts tonight to YouTube that I recorded like a week or so ago. So you can actually watch me play God of War in its entirety, just like Last of Us 2, which was amazing. So the Last of Us series, amazing. God of War series so far is fucking awesome. It's always been awesome, but it's even awesomer now. And then Horizon, that's the next exclusive I'm going to play. Spider-Man was amazing. I kind of want to rebeat Spider-Man. Like their exclusives, Insomniac's absolutely destroying it. Naughty Dog is king. Sony Santa Monica destroying it, like great. And then here comes Xbox. Last year they bought 13 studios. Last year before they bought 13 studios. So they're getting up there, and you're like, okay, whatever, fine. And they have their Coalition and 343, and then they make their own game studios. And then there was a rumor, and it turned into fact real fast about Warner selling. Warner Interactive? I'm going to say Warner Interactive. Warner something. And their division would include places like Rocksteady, which makes the Batman games, which are phenomenal. So I was like, oh my god, if they buy Warner and they get Rocksteady, now Rocksteady doesn't own certain things on DC, but they can license Batman on DC, which they obviously have. I was like, oh my god, Xbox could make Batman exclusive, and then Sony would have Spider-Man as their exclusive. Oh my god, that'd be crazy. Like my 2 favorite superheroes, like I need both these systems now. But that fell through. And now we're not sure what talks of who's going to buy what with Warner. That fell through. And then I literally out of the blue, the same morning I woke up and saw the rumor, within an hour it was confirmed that Microsoft had bought ZeniMax. Now, I don't know if you know who ZeniMax is, but they're the parent company, the owner of Bethesda, id Software, People Can Fly, multiple studios. So when you look at that and you start seeing the fucking umbrella of games that are coming out of those studios, you're just like, oh my god, they own all these now, completely outright. Now, Microsoft, I argue, has played the best with everyone. With Nintendo, with Sony, with everyone. They've owned Microsoft for years, and they have not deterred that or any of the iterations of Microsoft to be off any of the systems. I mean, like, obviously they're not going to take Minecraft off anything when they bought Mojang, or Mojang, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But because that already had an install base that would have been absolutely livid and would have killed the game. But like they just had Minecraft Dungeons come out, and that's on everything. They just released Cuphead on Sony, and they've had it on Nintendo. They own that. That's their game. It's an exclusive. Well, it was. So now the talk goes, okay, well, Phil Spencer's been very open about not wanting to be crazy exclusive. He doesn't believe in exclusives. He feels they hurt games. It feels like they're going more towards a ecosystem. So let's talk about that. Anyways, so Phil Spencer's always been about like not wanting to have it. He doesn't think exclusives are great for games, and they more want to have this ecosystem included or whatever. And it looks like they're going more towards the realm of, yes, we own Fallout and all the Elder Scroll games and the Doom games and all these games. Do we want the next one to be exclusive? I don't know. Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield or whatever it's called is looking like those might be exclusives because they're so far out that they could argue like, nah, we've owned this for a while. You've known we've owned this for a while. You probably knew this is going to be our system. Or, hey, we're going to take the revenue off of it and we're going to put it on whatever Nintendo has. We're definitely going to put it on what Sony has. We're definitely going to put it on PC because PC is our family. But here's the thing. Do you want to spend $60 on your PlayStation version? Or do you want to go ahead and pay, your whatever a month or whatever a year and get Game Pass Ultimate and just have it in your library forever? Because any first-party exclusives for Game Pass never leave. Anything Microsoft owns never leaves Game Pass. So it's not like it's just going to go away someday. Like Xbox would have to disintegrate for you not to be able to play that game. And if they did, you wouldn't have a system played on anyway because they wouldn't support it. So I think that's where they're going to go down that road with that kind of deal. It's going to say like, hey, yeah, sure, pay $60 or $70, which a lot of Black Ops is going towards the $70 model for the next gen systems. So they're going to say like, well, do you want to spend $70 on this, or do you just want to go ahead and pay this low monthly fee or low yearly fee and get your online included? If you have a PC, you have games. If you have a Xbox, you have games. If you can play and you can play all these on your phone. I will say this because people have asked me. No, your phone does not actually play the games. That's a good thing. It's doing what PlayStation Now system does, but better. It streams them. Now there are games you can download for PlayStation Now. I know, trust me. There are some titles they put for download. I know. No one come at me, please. But it's a streaming service, so your phone is basically your screen. And you can connect your controller to your phone and then to the service, and you can play eventually your entire library. But at least the entire Game Pass library is there. The entire Game Pass library is on there right now. And you can load the app, tell what game, use your controller, pick your game, and you're playing. And your internet connection is the only thing that matters. I mean, you could be playing on an older phone as long as the Wi-Fi is good and it works. So that's really cool. So I think that's the way they're going to go with that. As far as exclusivities go, you'll hear here in just a second, because I'm going to play the interview, that he's went more towards a case by case because they do. And here's where I hope that they save face because they need credit for this. There's actually 2 exclusives with, I'm pretty sure it's Bethesda, that are coming out for PlayStation. And they've said they're going to honor those. Like, hey, you know what? Boom, PlayStation can have those. We don't care. This is a long haul. So we now own the most game studios of any game or any company in the world. So they've honored those. But basically, here, I want to play this, guys, for you. If you want to fast forward, it's a tad over 10 minutes. It's like 10 minutes and 22 seconds, I think, actually. So if you want to fast forward, if not, you can skip through it. I think Phil Spencer kind of explains everything and answers all the questions in a pretty poignant way, gladly. Yes, I am biased towards Phil Spencer. I really like him. I just like Reggie Fils-Aimé. I really miss that Reggie a lot. Actually, I liked Reggie. So Without further ado, here's Phil Spencer.
Just want to ask about this. How will these ZeniMax assets help you with this latest Xbox launch, your Game Pass momentum, and xCloud?
Yeah, I mean, gamers love great games. You just mentioned we've got the Xbox consoles going on pre-order tomorrow for the next generation. Just last week, we added Game Pass cloud streaming so people can play this Game Pass library across all of their phones, the Android phones out there. And then obviously Game Pass, which is the largest game content subscription out there, 15 million subscribers and growing. So getting to work with ZeniMax to bring their amazing collection of games to Game Pass is just an incredible opportunity for us.
Now, financially, when will this be accretive? Are you making cuts to this company as you acquire it, or are you going to leave it alone?
Our plan is to leave it alone. I mean, ZeniMax has an amazing track record of building great games. Our goal is to make ZeniMax the best ZeniMax they can be, working individually with their studios on the great platform technology that we have, getting their creators' feedback into the things that we need to go build. That's just a critical flywheel for us innovating, is the feedback of the world's best creators on our platforms.
Tell me about the gaming ecosystems overall. Microsoft has spoken out against the way that Apple controls its App Store on those lines, but how is that really different from the percentage that console makers take on games on their platforms?
When you get large-scale general compute platforms like mobile phones, people should have access to the great content and services that are out there, and we remain committed to that. There are over 3 billion people who play video games today. Many of them play on phones, and we're committed to bringing Game Pass to all mobile phones out there, including Apple phones. We'll continue the conversations, and I'm sure we'll be able to get to some resolution.
Yeah, I'm not sure that gets to the core issue of how it's different, though. What is the core issue? I mean, 30% take? Is it how they're trying to command the way you do games in the cloud that also work through the App Store?
Our biggest issue isn't a financial issue. Our biggest issue is that cloud game streaming apps are actually not allowed in the way that Game Pass is built for other platforms. So for us, this is about gamers having great access to the content from the creators they love on the devices they own. Play the games that you want with the community that you want to play on the devices that you have. That's our goal.
So Phil, on that then, how will this affect the launch of future games? I know that ZeniMax was developing one for PS5 exclusively. Does that stay intact, or is that going to change after this deal?
Yeah, the commitments we've already made with the gamers out there on the games that people know about, we will continue with those commitments. The thing this is really about is a huge investment in our Xbox community. They know that the great games coming from ZeniMax and all of those studios, we're now at over 23 studios inside of Xbox, those games will be able to come to the Xbox community. They'll come to Game Pass day and date, and people will have just an amazing collection of great games to continue to play on Xbox.
Xbox Series X launch. I think pre-orders open tomorrow morning. You're not going to have Halo Infinite for that. How has COVID affected game availability, and how's that going to affect your marketing and your expectations around the console launch?
Yeah, with people sheltering in place, work from home, we've seen incredible engagement in the gaming community over the last few months, and we're really proud of the way that gaming has been able to play such a pivotal role for people. But you're absolutely right. Games today are hundreds of people coming together to build these massive games, and it's important that we're conscious of the safety of our teams, and it does have an impact on production, and you're seeing some of that out there. But when we look at this launch and people's appetite for gaming right now, we're very bullish on how our pre-orders are going to go tomorrow. We have the most powerful console in the market. We have the most affordable console in the market. We've got things like Xbox All Access that allow people to join this next generation of gaming for $24.99 a month, no upfront cost. You get a console and Game Pass. In times like this, I think that accessibility of price point and offer is really, really important.
It's obviously a big buy for you, Bethesda, maker of popular games like Elder Scrolls, Doom, Fallout. Talk to us about why you wanted to buy this content rather than just host it, given that Bethesda is still contractually obligated to make games for Sony.
Yeah, we view content as just being critical to our platform. We've got Game Pass growing very fast. We're over 15 million subscribers. As you mentioned, we've got consoles. We're going into pre-order for our next generation of consoles tomorrow. We've launched xCloud last week into our Game Pass subscription so people can play our games on their mobile phones. Content is just foundational to what we do. And with this move, we double the number of content creators we have inside of Xbox, which I think is a great move for the Xbox community.
So once inside Xbox, ultimately will Bethesda then start making games for only Xbox and PCs only and not PlayStation?
Clearly, our commitment with this move is that Xbox and PC and people playing on xCloud and Game Pass will get ZeniMax's games. So the collection of Bethesda studios will be coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, and that's just a huge commitment from us. In terms of other platforms, I think we'll make a decision on a case-by-case basis, but this is really a move to just show the strong commitment to the Xbox community that great games will be coming.
Now, as you mentioned, gaming traffic has soared. You've now got 15 million subscribers on Game Pass. That said, some gamers have been disappointed in some of the gaming offerings. How much of this is pull forward demand given the pandemic, and what do the quarters ahead then look like?
We see gaming as a really strong growth category. It has been for many years. 3 billion people play video games on the planet, half the connected world. It's nearly a $200 billion top-line business. Both of those numbers growing by double digits. So gaming is just a secular trend in entertainment, people moving from passive entertainment to active entertainment. You see it, kids everywhere playing video games, Minecraft, Fortnite. It's just a really strong place for Microsoft to make an investment with the transformations we're seeing in the business.
As you said, content is king, so I have to ask about the TikTok deal. Of course, it is still playing out, but how big a deal is it that Microsoft lost the TikTok deal?
We were pretty public about how that played out. I don't have anything to say with how TikTok is working now, but when I look at our growth aspirations in the consumer space as Microsoft, I think our investments in gaming and reaching communities everywhere is going to be critical to our long-term success with consumers.
That said, the Trump administration is now pushing U.S. gaming companies on their ties to Tencent, and that means Fortnite and League of Legends, which are hugely popular on Xbox. What is Microsoft's position in this geopolitical tug of war? What if Trump starts cracking down on Fortnite and League of Legends?
We've taken a long-term approach to gaming. We think people should be able to play the games that they want to play with the community they want to play with on the devices that they want to play on, and that's been central to our strategy. We work with global partners to be able to do that, and we hope to continue to do that. It's really a cornerstone of our strength of reaching the over 3 billion gamers on the planet.
Meantime, there's a battle royale going on between Fortnite maker Epic Games and Apple and Google. Xbox has its own situation with Apple's App Store. Do you think Apple and Google are monopolies like Epic says?
We think gamers on general purpose compute devices should have access to services like Game Pass cloud streaming. We think that should be available to everyone, and we're committed to making that happen. We'll continue to work with the large mobile operators out there. We'll work with Apple, we'll work with Google, we'll work with Samsung. We're doing that today. And I think gamers should have choice with the devices that they have on the content that they get to play.
Now, tech markets have been choppy. Microsoft has seen a pretty significant rise given the work from home trends, but shares have been down since losing TikTok. Shares are down a little bit today. What's your take on that reaction and the volatility that we're seeing?
I think we're always taking a long-term approach to growth opportunities for us as a company, and gaming is one of those areas. It's just a strong, growing consumer category. It's an area where we have some unique strengths relative to our tech competitors that are trying to move in. I mean, this deal is a perfect example. When you think about ZeniMax, they brought their first console game ever, Elder Scrolls, to the original Xbox. This is a relationship that's been built almost nearly 20 years. So when we look at this gaming category and the strength that we have, is this category is moving from device to player control, and our ability to deliver cloud game subscription to every gamer on the planet. This is a long-term growth category for Microsoft, and we're incredibly excited to be able to continue to invest.
Now, you've got new consoles out, a new acquisition under your belt, and a captive audience in the middle of a pandemic. What is your outlook on the holiday season and how this one might be different than years past?
Yeah, really good question. Our pre-orders for Xbox Series S and Series X go live tomorrow globally. We're excited about that. But you hit on a point. This is a time where accessibility of gaming is really, really important. We have the most powerful console in the market with Series X, but Series S at $299 here in the US is the most affordable next generation console. And on top of that, we have programs like Xbox All Access, which allows somebody to enter this generation of consoles for $24.99. It gives them the hardware, it gives them the gaming subscription and all the content that they would want to play. A really accessible price point at a time of a lot of uncertainty for families.
All right, that was him. That was possibly, I don't know, the best just information straight from him on the acquisition of ZeniMax. He says they want to make them the best ZeniMax they can possibly be. Step back, they're going to honor that kind of shit. The new, as far as exclusivity goes, is going to be a case-by-case basis, but as far as other platforms go, they definitely want to get it into their Game Pass ecosystem. Any game that's exclusive is going to be in Game Pass the second that they can. Like I said, Doom Eternal's already in there. That's one of the newest ones. The one thing I will mark on what he was alluding to with as far as getting the app, the Game Pass app on Apple. Apple did the same thing to South Park a long time ago. They want their rating system. They want to be able to individually rate what goes on their app store. Well, they can't do that when your service offers, a couple hundred games, because then they would actually have to go in under their own policies and review each game that's accessible through that service that will go through their phone. That's why it's not allowed. Which that kind of perplexes me, because I know there's other services, via, they should just accept the ESRB ratings that come with each game. And I guess maybe they want to try to find a way to age restrict or something. I'm not sure. I'm positive that Microsoft will work with them to come out with, some kind of way to get it on the store. But like he said, right now, these kind of apps that offer these types of things are just not allowed, which is crazy because you have stuff like Netflix or Hulu or stuff like that on there. So I'm wondering if they just go ahead and accept the built-in tools that Netflix has, where you can, restrict certain movies or do parental stuff or whatever, that kind of shit. Pretty sure, but I'm pretty sure I can do that right now with my Game Pass with, streaming. Because you just go into the Game Pass app and it says, PC, console, or I think it says streaming or phone, or there's a third option you click and that's where you can play the games straight on your phone. So there's an option to either install it on your Xbox, which you can install remotely just like on PlayStation, or you can just click play and start playing it right there on your phone. But yeah, they just straight up don't allow it because they need to rate each individual thing, which is impossible, because that would mean that they'd have to dispatch everyone to go play every game that's on Game Pass when it comes out, which is impossible. So I'm sure there's going to be eventually a deal where they just accept the ESRB ratings, and then they just say, hey, we need parental locks. We need to be able to tell parents that, hey, your kids can't hop in here and play the most extreme games or something. It's basically what they've said, and that's why they said they'll keep working with them, and it's coming. They always say coming soon. They always say coming soon when that kind of stuff happens. So, but I thought that was poignant. I've listened to that interview a couple times, and I'm surprised more people haven't. Maybe because it was on, on like some money NBC site or something, like a little tiny interview that he did or whatever. But I feel like he was pretty front forward. They got a little weird in the middle where they're just kind of asking some stuff, and the one guy was just like, well, what's the problem? They're not getting a big enough cut? And it's like, that's not the problem, bro. That's not anywhere near. It's not allowed. It's like, these types of apps are not really allowed on there. Which, like I said, is also weird, because when it comes to movies, that you have your Netflix and your stuff that you can just click it. You just, click play and you're good to go or whatever. So I'm not sure why games are different. But it's also why they've not had it on the preview program. Because I've had xCloud as a separate app for about a year now. And it's been okay. It's been all right. It got a lot better with this full release finally. But they're just going to keep adding to it to the point to where they eventually want it to where every single game in your library that you buy, whether it's part of Game Pass or not, is going to be playable on there. So, all right, guys, I think I've talked to you enough. Since this is going to be hopefully weekly, like I said, on Mondays, I'll be able to get to more stuff quicker with a shorter episode, so it's not as long. I feel like the long form episodes only really work when it's me and someone else, or if I have an actual interview with someone else or whatever. When it's just me giving you guys news and my stupid opinion, I feel like I don't want to talk at you too long. So thank you guys for listening. I'm glad you guys came back. I am going to be doing a big, probably 5 video upload to YouTube because I'm uploading 3 videos right now that complete my gameplay for God of War. And I realized I didn't put the last episode on YouTube. It's everywhere else. I just didn't put it on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why my dumbass didn't do that. So I'm going to be uploading the last episode and this episode on YouTube here, probably tonight. So, guys, please, thank you for listening. I stream on Twitch with, right now, my PlayStation. I'm not doing any streaming really with my Xbox because once I got rid of Mixer, you have to use the Twitch app, and my Xbox One OG just does not run it correctly. It crashes. I streamed me playing Battletoads, which I did save, and I haven't really uploaded any of it, but I do have it on my Twitch somewhere, and I did save the videos, so I have them of me. I beat Battletoads. I love Battletoads. If you have Game Pass, go play Battletoads. That game's so fucking fun and funny. And it needs its own TV show. Like, that show needs a TV show. Or that game needs a TV show. But I'm not doing any streaming on it right now until I can get some kind of actual setup going. Because, like I said, until they have something built in, or hopefully with the Series X, it's built in, please. Because right now, PlayStation kills it with streaming. Because I can just go YouTube, Twitch. Right now, I stream on Twitch because the streaming aspect I feel is better on Twitch because that's where more people go for, to watch game streams. And then it stays on there for 2 weeks on my account. So you guys can watch it. So it has relevant videos on there. But I just download that raw video right to my phone or my computer, and then I can upload it to YouTube, and it's on there forever. And so I have it both places, and then it just stays on YouTube forever as like, a permanent collection. So I like that combo. If I do just YouTube, yes, it'll convert straight to a video as soon as I'm done playing, which is really nice because it means my YouTube's updated a lot faster. But also, there's nothing on Twitch because I can't retroactively stream on Twitch. I can't retroactively load on that. So that's my system. So if you go to Twitch, Another Castle Podcast, find me there, give me a follow. I don't charge anything. I don't have subsystems. I don't do nothing. Just click on it. You can watch me stream live and then watch it later on YouTube. So YouTube, go on YouTube. It's Another Castle Podcast. Please like all these systems. I post some on Twitter. I post some on Instagram. I post a lot more on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, find us at Another Castle Podcast. I post tons of stories that I find right there. If I see it on Instagram, I'll grab it and just throw it. So the info's out there. So you're just, whatever I find, I'll just throw it on there. Just literally screenshot and throw it on there. So it's on there. So follow the Facebook. That's updated the most because it's so easy for me just to hear stuff, see stuff, screenshot it, throw it, and I'm done. But like I've been trying to get to for the last 2 minutes, thank you guys for listening to this podcast. I love you guys very much. Please get at me. And please don't forget that this is the only podcast? Yes, Power Up. This is the only podcast where you can get the Power Up and win the game. Thank you guys so much.